Thank you. Okay, so we're going to talk about tempering and egress. There's certain, circumstances for each that are, as we talked about yesterday, when you're in a house full of 30 windows, you have to run each window through this filter, especially in bedrooms where there is egress requirements. Any place where there's windows around doors or, stairways or wet areas, we'll talk about the specific requirements. But these are something that you're going to use this information for the rest of your career, because every time you sell a window, you're going to have to see, does it need to be tempered, and do I need egress? So that document I sent you, we're going to run right off of that. So I guess we'll just do it verbatim, and that way we don't miss anything. Tempered glass is glass that has been strengthened to the point that if broken, it will shatter into hundreds of blunt pieces and will not seriously injure a person or animal. So it's like the best way to explain it to people, it's like your front car windshield. It's going to crumble into a bunch of pieces that can't really do anything to you unless you like step on them or something, but it's not going to shard and cause like things that would, cut an artery or something. So basically that is.
I'm a little bit disturbed by how you found that humorous, Frank.
I know, me too. That's why I laugh. I don't know what's going on. So that's what tempering is. And just tell them it's like your front car windshield. So if you were to get in an accident, it's going to crack and crumble. It's not going to shard. All doors manufactured since 1974 come standard with tempered glass. You can't buy a door anymore without tempered glass. According to the International Building Code, which has been adopted by the state of Texas, any glass in a window that is within 2 feet of a door and within 53 inches of the finished floor surface must be tempered. Also, any fixed window with over 9 square feet of glass must be tempered if it is within 18 inches of the floor of your home. Does that make sense? So over 9 square feet, less than 18 inches from the ground, we got to temper it. Now, very rarely does that come up on an operable window. It's generally just on fixed windows, because you have to get, unless you have like a 48 wide by 72 high, then you could get into a situation where you have to temper it. But generally that's with picture windows. Because if you think about it, 9 square feet, that's 3 feet by 3 feet, right? So anything over that, even if it's an operable window, we're looking at the bottom sash, not the whole window. So if you have a big old double hung that's 48 by 72, and that bottom window sash is 30 inches tall, which is a typical 3 to 5 split, like we looked at my house, the windows out to the pool. So if we look at that window and it's 48 inches wide, the bottom sash is 30 inches high. That's 1440. 1440, if I divide that by 12 to get square feet, or 144 to divide by, so 12 times 12 is a square foot, right? It's 144 inches, square feet, inches. So if I divide that, we get 10 feet. So that bottom sash has to be tempered. If you have like a 36 inch by 72 window, that's 3 to 5 split, meaning the top's bigger, the bottom's shorter. The bottom is still at 30 inches, even though we're at 36 inches wide. 36 times 30 is not 9 feet, right? 36 times 36 is 9 square feet. So if it's 36 inches wide and 30 inches tall, we don't have to temper it. But if that's one big picture window, or you're going to a casement window, then it's the whole thing. It's 3 feet by 6 feet. We got 18 square feet. We got to temper it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Oddly enough, yes.
And And the way that you get that square feet is just, again, multiplying width times height. That gets you your total inches. And then you divide it by 144, which is a square foot, 12 times 12.
Say that one more time, Ryan, please.
So to get your square footage on a piece of glass, you multiply the width times the height. That's going to give you inches.
Right.
Then you divide that by 144, which is a square foot, 12 inches by 12 inches, 144 inches. You divide that number by 144, and that'll give your total square feet. You're going to use that formula all the time. You need to know it. Any questions on that? Because if you don't understand that, there's no point in moving forward.
Yeah, but this only applies to 18 inches from the floor.
Correct. If it's over 18 inches, which a lot of newer construction, like, you know, like your house, you probably have some windows that are that low to the floor, or, you know, that time period is typical. Newer homes, they raised it up to avoid the building code, because that's crazy expensive to have to temper a bunch of windows. Yep. So do this math. We got a piece of glass that's 46 inches wide by 26 inches tall. Give me the square feet. 46 by 26, did I say?
8.3 square feet.
We weren't supposed to shout it out.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I got
do it again then.
Okay, so 48 by 32. Keep your answers to yourself, Deuce. No shenanigans. Don't be that student.
Hey, Farva, what's that place you like with the cheese sticks and all the goofy stuff all over the walls? Oh, shenanigans?
Did you get it?
That's an obscure movie reference.
10.6? Did I get that wrong?
That's what I got.
Good.
That's what you got? All right.
All right, you guys passed. Congratulations.
Nice, Dwayne.
Yeah, you guys are killing it today. So
that's basically what we do every time. If there's a window within 18 inches from the floor, we're going to measure that bottom sash. Is that the bottom sash or just the bottom sash, right?
It's just the bottom sash. Unless it's a casement or a picture window, then we do the whole thing. But remember, the whole trigger point is 18 inches from the floor. So we're measuring, you got the floor, you got that one piece of glass, whatever it is, whether it's a portion or a full, that's where we're looking. We're looking at the floor. What's that next piece of glass measure?
Yep.
That's how we formulate our 9 square feet.
Gotcha.
So we're good on that one. That's probably the most common one you'll see. That, and then proximity to a door. So within 24 inches of a door, it needs to be tempered. And this one you need to be careful on because it's the swing path of the door. So if I have a door over here and my window's over here and it's clearly not 24 inches, if that door is going to swing this way and get within 24 inches, you need to temper it. So just pay attention to your door swings, you know, on which way that door is swinging. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do we need to do another test?
Probably.
Think so?
Sure.
It's funny how I bet everyone just starts to look at houses differently, like as soon as they walk in. Yeah. Like everyone who walked in my house that was on the sales team would say, "Oh, that window would have to be tempered if we replaced it."
Yeah, it's second nature because you have to do it every day, multiple times a day. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the second thing, any window glass that is within 60 inches of the floor and it's over a bathtub or a shower must be tempered. Obvious reason, right? If you slip and fall, you're probably not going to go through the window if it's 60 inches tall. If it's less than 60 inches tall, probably a good chance you're going to fall right into that window. It's the same thing with 18 inches. A lot of people ask why 18 inches. It's basically like a knee break. So less than 18 inches, your knee and you are probably going into that window. If the knee wall is over 18 inches, like you kind of see back here, that's probably 23, 24 inches. So here, my knee's probably going to break on that wall and I'll be able to brace myself. But less than 18 inches, I'm going through it. So that's how you can.
Me and my family would be able to go lower than that.
Okay, well, when you go do windows in your family's house, you can make an exception. So that's why that's in place. You can help people understand it. It helps just for clarity. Instead of just saying, well, that's the way it is, explain the rationale behind it. It helps them absorb the cost and understand, okay, that's not as stupid as it sounds. Yeah. Same thing with the 60 inches. I just justified that for you, or I rationalized that for you. If you got a window less than 60 inches from the ground, elbow, head, something's going into that window. If it's over 60 inches, you're probably good to go. Okay, next one. Windows above stairs. Any window glass within 60 inches of a stair step or landing must be tempered. Okay, makes sense, right? You fall down the stairs, if it's over 60 inches, your head's going through the sheetrock. If the window's lower than that, you're going through the window. So it doesn't matter size here. Any glass that's within 60 inches of a stair, landing, step needs to be tempered regardless of the size. Got it? The trick for the door one, because that is the most common, is anytime you see a door, it should be a little stop sign in your head. Just saying, okay, what do I got? Do I got any windows? Typically the doors, you know, a lot of 80s, 90s homes have two side lights, windows right by the door. Those always have to be tempered because they're generally 4, 6, 8, maybe 9 inches away from the door. So when you see that, it's an automatic. Oh, those have to be tempered. Now, the windows above the door do not have to be tempered. It's just to the sides. Any questions about those?
So those side lights for doors, even if they're not within the swing of the door, they need to be tempered just because they're within 2 feet.
Yeah, they're always going to be within 2 feet.
Got it.
Generally, they'll be as close as maybe 2, 3, 4 inches, never more than probably 10 or 11 inches. And if the window's here and it's 25 inches away and the door swings this way or that way, you don't need to temper it. It's only if it were swinging towards the window, inward or outward. Does that make sense?
Yep,
it does.
Any questions on tempering? It seems, you know, it's pretty basic, but it's going to be the most common thing that you have to know.
No, sounds fair enough.
Okay. Okay, so we'll move on to egress. What is an egress window? An egress window is a window that is required in specific locations in any dwelling and is intended to provide an emergency means of exiting the dwelling. Windows must meet specific size and requirements to qualify as an egress window. Egress windows are required in every room used for sleeping purposes, bedrooms, on any floor, and in basements with habitable space. Don't have that here. But any, you know, we'll see this a lot. And the question that you need to ask people, Does it have a closet? And does it have a bathroom? Sorry. I don't know what's going on. If it has a closet and it has a bathroom, it's a bedroom. Even if you're using it for an office or a junk storage room. If it doesn't have a bathroom or a closet, generally, you know, you have to watch it because it's still, if it's a loft, that's different. But if it's a bedroom and has a closed door, it probably needs to meet the egress code. Does that make sense? Because you'll get people like, oh, we don't use that as a bedroom. You know, as a bedroom, it's an office.
But you're saying it has to have both? It has to have both, Ryan?
No.
Bathroom and closet, or either one?
Either one.
Either one.
And that's not a hard and fast. That's just meant to be a guideline of, it's probably a bedroom. It's not to say that all bedrooms have a closet and a bathroom, but a closet and a bathroom is a good indicator that it is a bedroom. It's one of those things. So you just have to be smart and err on the side of caution that, hey, could somebody down the road, even if it's not these people, convert this into a bedroom? And if they could, then the egress laws apply.
But egress windows are not required in bathrooms.
No.
That's not what you're saying. Okay.
Only
If there is a room that has a bathroom attached to it.
Yeah, I'm just saying a bathroom and a closet are an indicator that that's probably a bedroom, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
So typically, whenever you go into a bedroom or a room that looks like it could be a bedroom, that alarm should go off again saying, uh-oh, I got to keep my eyes open for egress. Now, if I have 5 windows in there, you only need 1 egress. So not all 5 windows have to satisfy egress. If you wanted to do, if I got a bank of windows and I have 1 casement and 4 fixed casements, I'm fine. I satisfy egress. But I need 1 escape route per bedroom for somebody to get out of in the event of a fire.
And of course, there are size requirements, I'm sure, on that window, right?
Way to go, Dwayne. Good segue. We're going to talk about that right now. That's the next thing. I just want to make sure you understand. 1 opening per bedroom. They don't have to all 5 open. So if somebody's going for a look, you know, a specific look, we can have 1 fixed and 5, or excuse me, 1 operable and 5 fixed windows. We're meeting egress. I just need one escape route to the exterior.
This is kind of in the case of like if you have someone who they're wanting the replacements to really change the look of the home on the exterior. They have double hungs or single hungs and they want to do, you know, casements or picture windows or fixed windows. Basically, you only have to have 1 instead of, so you can still accomplish that goal. You just need to be able to tell them, hey, 1 of these has to be an egress, essentially.
And here's advanced egress. If you have a bedroom like that with multiple windows, which you will often, be smart, because other people don't think about this. I swear, every time I mention this, somebody's like, oh, wow, nobody told me that. Look, be smart. Think there's a fire in the house. You're living in this bedroom and you got to get out. Look outside the window. If you have 3 windows over here with a 35-foot drop, and you got a window over here with a 6-inch crawl out onto a roof, make this your egress window and fix all these. I don't want to have to, I want to have to jump 35 feet down in a fire, go right out here onto the roof.
Yeah.
So look at that, because generally, you'll have, not all the time, you'll have 1 window where it's like, oh, you can just walk out there rather than killing yourself getting out of the fire. So be smart about that and make those recommendations to people, and you'll like blow them away. It just further sets you up as a professional because nobody else thought to mention that. So look, be smart, open the blinds. You should be opening the blinds anyways, because you need to see rot. You need to see caulking. You need to see what's going on. Sometimes, you know, you get in a big house, opening the blinds. Oh, okay. I see I'm on the right side of the house. I'm on the front of the house. I'm on the back of the house. A lot of times you can't tell when you get all turned around inside some stranger's house. Open the blinds, take a look. If they're wanting, which most people are wanting to, you will sell more jobs if you get creative designing somebody's house. Very few people want to spend 40 grand and have the same thing they had before, design wise. So the more fun, the better you can be with that, you will significantly increase your performance. So just be smart. Take a look out the window. Which way would you want to get out of that room if there's a fire? Talk to them about that. Point it out, just like the moisture meter and the hardness test. Half the reason of doing that is sharing that knowledge with them. Hey, this is why I'm going to do this. We're trying to make sure your concrete's in the optimal tolerances to, you know, to have our product adhere to it as best as possible. If we're outside those tolerance ranges, we're going to have issues. You're going to have issues, and we don't want that. It's the same thing. Hey, what I'm doing right now, I'm looking to see if, you know, I lived in here and I had to get out in the event of a fire. Which way do I need to get out of this room? So in this case, we should make this the operable window, and let's make these other 4 over here the fixed ones. Because you're not going to jump out 35 feet to get down to the bottom, you know, to the ground. So just be smart. Little thing like that can go a long way with somebody. Never underestimate the power of the little things. Okay, so Dwayne, to your question, any questions before we move on? Okay, to your question, and these are a little bit more difficult because you have a couple things to remember. The minimum width must be 20 inches. So if you got a window that's 15 inches wide, that's not an egress window. Now, if that's all you have in a room, which you will on some 70s and 80s homes, those people are grandfathered in. It's not your responsibility to chip out a window that's 20 inches wide. Okay. Minimum height is 24 inches. So if it's 22 inches, we don't have an egress window.
Ryan, before you keep going real fast, when those people that are grandfathered in, that still needs to be an operable window. It's just the size requirements.
Yeah, in that case, we can do a couple different things. You can have them sign a waiver, because most people are like, I don't care, we never, you know, blah, 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 whatever. We can have on a case by case, on an exception basis, if that exists, we can have somebody sign a waiver. I've done it probably a dozen times. And they sign a waiver saying that they're aware of the egress code. We are foregoing that egress code because the window as constructed doesn't meet the dimensions necessary. So we're waiving all liability from Southwest Exteriors for any egress compliance.
Got it.
What are the ages of the home that are grandfathered? Is that in the documentation you're reading, or do we know that?
No, it's not. There's not really any kind of technical verbiage to that. But the point is any window in a bedroom, you know, sleeping area that doesn't meet egress, if it's constructed that way originally, it's not our responsibility.
Yeah. If it's existing construction.
Correct.
Which is what we're going to be.
We are not obligated to go and make that window egress compliant. So 20 inches minimum width, 24 inches minimum height. This is the big one. This is the main one you want to look at. It's 5.7 square feet. So again, your formulas, you know, you being able to do a little math here is going to be priceless. You take your width and your height, same thing, divide by 144. Take your width and height in inches to be more specific. 36 by 55, multiply it, divide by 144, that's your square feet. If it's over 5.7, you're golden, you meet egress, move on.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
Any questions about that? There's one more qualifier on there. Maximum sill height above the floor is 44 inches. Meaning that an egress window should be 44 inches or less from the floor. Again, we can't control that. If the house was constructed and it's 46, hope you can jump.
And in all those cases, again, we need a waiver.
No, not all those cases. If they're doing anything that's going out of egress compliance, and that's like a sticking point, I mean, we should, 98% of the time, you should be able to talk them into doing the right thing. Hey, we don't want to be liable if, God forbid, there's a fire and somebody gets hurt. So if they're requesting that, then we have to get a waiver. But otherwise, these are criteria that have to be met. The only time we would get a waiver is if it's going outside of that criteria and they have said, nope, either do it this way or I'm not going to consider y'all for the job. Then you get a waiver. And people have done some stupid things. I mean, really stupid things. You know, a couple of those dozen that I told you about were asinine. Like, I couldn't believe, like, he put his family in so much jeopardy, but he wanted to do it. And he told me that Pella was going to do it without even blinking an eye. So I was like, okay. So Scott and I drafted up a waiver. They signed it and we did it.
What's the motivation there? Saving money or just the aesthetics of the looks?
Money and looks.
Money and looks. Okay.
I guess a fixed window is less expensive than, yeah.
Generally speaking, unless you have to temper it, and then it closes that delta between the operable and non-operable.
Got it.
Wow.
So any questions about tempering or egress? And you have the document so you can reference it. But like I said, these are things, that formula, width in inches times height in inches divided by 144, you're going to use that multiple times a day. Any questions?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, so
except for requesting a bio break.
Yeah, we're
Thank you.
Bio break.
We're gonna shut this down. I'm gonna.
Oh man, that was recorded.
I'll close out of this. I'll join on my iPad, so y'all don't have to do anything, and then we'll go into EntryLink. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure, hey Ryan, I'm pretty sure I understood this, but everything you just went over is in the documents that you just sent us.
Yep, I was going right off that.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, take I don't know, 5 minutes. Is that good?
Yep.
Okay. 10:02. Let's be back at like 10:10.